We get the big screen
Well,
on the
you have to
bandwagon.
be.
There we go.
It's starting to get a little crowded. Look at all those people on there.
We've had Herbert, we've had Gronk, we've had Key's favorite player, Josh Allen.
We got to make some room because Dan's got to add somebody else. It's all above the Dan wagon. Oh, the moment of truth. Who is on the Dan wagon today? Dan Orlovsky, you can see the wagon. As I said, I mean, it's getting kind of full, but Dan, you got to add somebody. So who we got?
Ironically, it's also someone's name that's like a form of transportation, right? Derek Carr has earned the right to get on the Dan wagon. He runs the most efficient offense in the NFL. Now, how do you do that? Like, you got to be ridiculously good on third down. Check this. Since the beginning of last season, on third down, 18 touchdowns. That's second only behind Patrick Mahomes. And he averages 9 yards an attempt on third down. Like, folks, that's outrageous. This year, he's got 14 tutties, only 2 picks, 70% completion percentage. It's not just a dink and dunk offense. He's pushing the football more downfield. This is a really good team because he's done all that, and he's played 7 games, 5 of them against top 15 defenses in the NFL. That schedule will get a little softer. He's earned the right to be on a Dan wagon. Can we put Ruddy? Like, you can even say that his performance this year has been sparkling.
I gotta say, Dan, I definitely look like a disco ball, and these pants were a little sparklier than I realized. So on that note, we're gonna go to the next thing. We're gonna talk quarterbacks and a battle of the 2 brightest young stars in the game, Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa. These are so sparkly.
Kyler Murray's here.
Oh, yeah.
Kyler Murray is here.
Tua Tagovailoa will officially be handed the keys to the Miami Dolphins franchise.
Let's go! Kyler Murray, a deep shot, got a man and it's caught. Touchdown, Cardinals.
The Tua era begins.
If Tua plays well, this is a playoff team.
I would like to be the best to ever play the game.
I, for one, cannot wait for this game. All eyes on those 2 young quarterbacks Sunday. Dan, let's focus to start on Kyler Murray going up against the Dolphins defense that won the game for him last week. How big of a challenge is that for him?
Well, when we talked about the Dolphins defense this week, it was about that zero blitz package. So Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury better have a plan to defend against it because it's so diverse. Let's show you how. First of all, how many people are up at the line of scrimmage? I only got 5 protectors. You're bringing 6 in the blitz. Everyone else is playing man-to-man. Who's coming? Who's blitzing? Who's not? So you're going to see 2 droppers are going to drop out from that 6 up, and then the rest of everyone is going to be a rusher. Who's blocking who? One guy comes free, and as the quarterback, I'm thinking, okay, Kyler Murray, get the ball in your hands. I don't know who's dropping. I don't see Christian Wilkins pick touchdown. Okay, so I want to get an empty again. This is what Arizona loves to do, 7 guys up, but it's really about the 4 at the bottom versus my 3 offensive linemen. We can only pick up 3. Someone has to come free. Ball has to come out. Watch the corner. He knows the ball's got to come out quickly. Put his foot in the ground, drive on the ball. Kyler Murray, do not do that. Cliff Kingsbury, don't sell him out like that. So an offensive line, you go, you know what? We're not even going to determine who we're blocking. Just go block an area. Everybody step down left. Well, what happens if one of those guys on the end of line of scrimmage knows that and he comes unblocked and sacks Kyler Murray for a sack fumble? That's what's so challenging about this zero blitz. It looks the same. You have absolutely no idea who's the one blitzing, who's dropping. Everybody knows the ball's got to come out. So Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, you better have a really good plan and you better execute it perfectly.
As they continue to execute that blitz and that plan and all the different things that the Dolphins do from a defensive standpoint, the number one thing that the Dolphins should do and will do is take away the number 1 target in DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
If you take that away from Kyler Murray and you force Kyler Murray to go to some second and third dairy options, Kristen Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, the running back Edmonds, now you got a guy who you look at and you can neutralize those sort of things. But you got to be very careful because if he pulls the ball down, he's averaging 6.7 yards, 7 touchdowns per attempt. That's something that you don't want to do. 66% completion percentage for him, pretty good. I've come a long way on Kyler Murray in this system. Okay. There's no question about it. But Miami has their hands full.
Yeah, you know, Marcus, when you think about Tua, and he didn't have to do much in his first career start. He's going to make his second career start on Sunday. How difficult a task do you think it's going to be for the Cardinals defense against Tua?
First of all, I'm glad Keaton came around to the AZ offense and Kyler Murray. That's number 1.
If I see it, Marcus, if I see it and it's real, I'm going to give it to you. I ain't going to just manufacture something up now.
That's respect. That's respect. See something, say something. I'm going to go to the other side, fellas. Listen, Tua, obviously, we talked about him lining up against the Rams and that defensive line, and we saw at moments Aaron Donald doing what Aaron Donald does and the pressure getting to him. But we also got to remember what we saw the last time we saw this Arizona Cardinals defense on the field. They turned over the best quarterback in football 3 times. And this is Tua's second start of his career. So it's not lightening up for him. They're using Buda Baker in a lot of ways, creating pressure with him. But also you see quarterbacks under duress. And that is the answer that we're still waiting on. Will Miami, will Flores, will Tua be prepared for the looks that Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, is going to get him? He fooled the best quarterback in the league this year already. Now Tua gets him the second game of Tua's career. It'll be interesting to see how they respond to this, especially Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, Kyler and Tua always linked. Remember, they finished first and second in 2018 Heisman Trophy voting. We've got a developing story here on NFL Live. We've been talking about Matthew Stafford being placed in the COVID-19 reserve list. Adam Schefter has an update on that.
Well, Laura, here's the distinction. Matthew Stafford is considered high-risk, close contact. He had contact with somebody with COVID on Monday, which means he has to stay on that list for 5 days. And pending further testing, negative testing, he would be eligible to come off the reserve COVID-19 list on Sunday and play against the Vikings. Now, he will not practice this week, but if there are no negative tests, Matthew Stafford will, in fact, start on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. If there's a negative test or he has to stay on the reserve COVID-19 list for any reason, Chase Daniel would be the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. But as it is right now, Stafford